Jerry Douglas manages to get himself in quickly with all this because he has been an incredible Nashville session man. He has been a defining player in old-time country and contemporary country and all kinds of music. And Jerry is somebody I've known for years. I'll just mention he's originally from Ohio, but
right.
Most people know him around Nashville.
Go Buckeyes.
Yeah, there you go. And, somehow he managed to sneak out and listen to rock and roll, but keep to the tradition, I believe, of your family, too, doing country music and making something happen. Jerry, tell us a little about your journey in the instrument.
Well, I used to wake up every morning around 8 o'clock in the morning. My father would be going off to the steel mill to go to work. And his favorite music was Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and the Foggy Mountain Boys.
Oh, yeah.
So mine was too. And so if we could get the radio station between Nashville and Warren, way up in Warren, Ohio, if we could get the early morning show, we'd listen to it. Right. If the weather didn't cooperate, we'd have a Flatt and Scruggs record on the turntable. So that was great until I started listening at night to rock stations out of Cleveland. And started, hearing Howlin' Wolf and the Stones and the Beatles and Mamas and the Papas and all that stuff that ruined my mind.
I think this group, I think the Stones could open for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work that out next time.
They're older than we are, though.
Well, there is that. Okay, age before beauty, that's what they say.
That's what I think, too.
Yeah.
We should offer them $1,000.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe next year in Salisbury with the Stones, huh? Okay, now back to you, Jerry.
Wishful thinking. Okay. Yeah. So I started learning. I saw Flatt and Scruggs in person, and I saw this fellow, Uncle Josh Graves, playing the dobro, and it was the instrument that went to my heart, And so it was a strange thing for a kid to play from Warren, Ohio. One of my friends recently told me I took it to school for like show and tell, and I got a C.
I always thought it would be D for dobro, but close enough. But tell the folks just a little about the dobro, whether in the Hawaiian context, country, how it's played. It's a little different.
It was originally supposed to be a Hawaiian instrument, but it found its way into the bars in Chicago. First there were the shiny guitars, the national guitars, and then there were the dobros, and dobro stands for Do Piera Brothers, where there were 5 Czechoslovakian brothers. They're more Slovakian. Won't go into that.
But they were makers.
They were the builders, and they were fiddle makers and cabinet makers, and they moved to Los Angeles, California, and there was a Hawaiian music craze going on, and they decided to build these guitars, but the Hawaiian ones weren't loud enough, so they invented this metal contraption to make it louder, because they wanted, they were used to hearing oompa bands and things like that.
Yeah.
So they wanted it loud. So they made this guitar louder, and it found its way into blues playing. Everybody played it, and into Cajun music. You see a lot of pictures of old Cajun bands with a dobro player playing the guitar, and then it slowly found its way into country music through basketball brother Oswald, who was working in a car plant in Flint, Michigan, and learned how to play Hawaiian music from a fellow that worked there.
Don't you love American contact culture?
Yeah, immigrants, every one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, he played kind of a. Hey.
Oops. I think I sneaked one in.
And Bashful Brother Oswald also played a kind of what I think people used to call a Toby clown, old school clowning on
the
on
banjo
opera.
player or the dobro player or the bass player was the clown.
Yeah.
You had to wear the polka dot suit and drag wear a strange hat and drag a bass around behind you.
You're really well dressed today, and I want to compliment you on that.
My polka dot suit's in the truck.
Yeah, okay. So what you got for us?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, what should I play? Here's one that everybody probably knows.
Bill Kirchen. Lewis. Whoa. Yeah. No mere strummers here. That's just great. Little Diesel Billy sneaking in with Bill, etc. Well, we're going to move down the line here and take a deep dive into the blues. Eddie Cotton is from near Jackson, Mississippi. Clinton, Mississippi, to be exact. And I don't know if you were out there last night with the band, but damn, they owned it. And, it's nice to hear a band digging deep into the old repertoire, Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, but also having new songs and moving, grooving, and getting all the ladies to walk up to see them, and on and on and on. The Men in Black were incredible with Eddie Cotton last night. So he is here. And Eddie, you got all these kind of country pickers around you. So, but you're the guy with the blues. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into blues and what you'd like to do?
First of all, I started out at my dad's church playing gospel music. And the two are one and the same, if you want to say that. And then I eventually went to college and studied in music theory. Got a chance to learn other genres of music. And then I started relating that what I had been playing, I've been playing the blues all the time, basically. You know, and that's pretty much, I've always loved the blues. Riding along, I told you, riding along the cars with my uncle. Because my dad, like you said, my dad listened to gospel. So I had to listen to gospel until I got with my uncles. And they were more, you know, into the blues.
Yeah.
And that's how I got hip to it. And
Well, I mean, and we've had this discussion, but I mean, the image is that the church people are here and they're keeping it sacred, and the blues people are at the juke joint, and maybe the twain doesn't meet, but you seem to have bridged that gap in spirit and flesh.
well, I try to play because I have seen music played to the point where people do go into a spiritual realm. Told you that pocket, and I had been in revivals, guitar playing preachers, and they'll wham on them things until the Spirit of the Lord come in and people start to, and I try to put that same feeling into the blues.
Yeah, no pushback from church people?
They have their little say so, but it
I'd like to know if his uncle and his father got along.
very well, very well. Very well. They respected each other, you know, and he was not the kind of guy that wouldn't let me go see my uncles. He loved his brothers.
Yeah, I think yesterday we were speaking, you mentioned that as long as there are men and women, there will be blues.
There will be blues.
Yeah.
What you heard today, these are some fantastic, they picking these things, but I heard the blues in it.
All right. Well, could you give us a little bit of the Eddie Cotton blues?
Well, what we're gonna do is we got enough pickers up here, and they can get along with me. And I'm gonna hold a little rhythm for you. Is that all right? Gonna get a little crowd participation in here. That all right? Come on, clap your hands. Well, my baby don't love me, and I tell you the reason why. My baby don't love me, and I tell you the reason why. She took all my money, and she left me here to cry. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Anybody familiar with Johnny Lee Hooker? If Johnny Lee was here right now, boom, 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 shoot you right down off of your feet, make it good to me. I like it like that. Boom, 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 boom. Take it one, daddy. Come on, clap those hands. Ho! Let's hear it for it. What you got to say about it?
Yeah. So you noticed everybody had a piece of that. To me, the blues is a universal solvent in American music. Everybody has a little bit of it, even in the acoustic and old-time country worlds. It's certainly in rock and roll, in gospel, in pop, everywhere you turn. And we've been going down the line, and we're getting more electric as we go. And here we have Bill Kirchen. And you know Bill. And, you know, rockabilly music is kind of where the blues meets country, head-on collision with some gospel. And, you know, the world has never quite looked the same since it happened. Bill, you're from nearby here.
I lived up till about 7 years ago in the western shore of the Chesapeake Bay in Calvert County, Maryland, but I've chased the grandkids to Texas, so I live in Austin, Texas now.
Right. But your sound...
I miss you guys.
And if you know your rock and roll history, Bill Kirchen was a guitar player for Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen. I don't know how many people remember those days.
I've read about those days.
Yeah. All right. So, Bill, you say a little something. I know with Commander Cody you did something you called Diesel Billy, and you know, and you've done a bunch of other things. But tell us what you're thinking about.
Well, I'm thinking about doing something from my roots. I discovered country music kind of late. I was already been through the Beatles and you know, classical music first, and then the Beatles, and then I became a folk nerd, which I still consider myself.
You're in good company here.
Thank you. I like it. And I went to Newport Folk Festival in '64 and '65, and it ruined me for normal work, the stuff I saw there. But then I discovered country music. One of the first country stuff I heard was a truck driving song called Truck Driving Man. I was thinking of doing that, the quintessential. And I invented the term Diesel Billy so I could play whatever I want. Since nobody else wants to be in that genre, I play Diesel Billy music. So anyway, this Truck Drive Man, it was originally done by Terry Fell and the Fellers on the X label, which was a subsidiary, I think, of Capitol, but they put the dodgy stuff on there, like X. Like sort of X-rated in a way, but Terry Fell and the Fellers. And I learned it from a Red Simpson album with the great Gene Moles on guitar. So it's called Truck Drive Man. Anybody can play it in the People's Key of E from the 5. Well, I stopped at a roadhouse in Texas. There was a little place called Hamburger Dan's, and I heard a song on the jukebox. Song about a truck driving man. Help me out. Pour me another cup of coffee, for it is the best in the land. I'll put a nickel in the jukebox, a nickel, and I'll play that truck driving man. She brought me some coffee, and I thanked her and I called it back again. And I said, that old song sure does fit me. And she said, yeah, right. So pour me another cup of coffee. It is the best in the land. And I'll put a nickel in the jukebox and play the truck driving man. climbed back aboard my old semi, and like a flash I was gone. And I got them old truck wheels a rolling, and I'm on my way to San Antonio. So pour me another cup of coffee, for it is the best in the land. And I'll put a quarter in the jukebox, Escalade, and I'll play that truck driving man. Play the blues. Up to glory, and they take me away from this land. I'm gonna head my rig right up to heaven. I am a truck driving man. So pour me another cup of coffee, for it is the best in the land. Dollar, and I'll put $1 in the jukebox. Play the truck driving man, Grandpa Jones, and play the truck driving man. Truck driving music. Thank you, everybody.
Bill Kirchen in overdrive. Yeah. 16th gear.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got a little time left here, and I was gonna put Jerry on the spot here, and I'll tell you why, Jerry. First, I have a question for you. How did you get that nickname Flux?
I can't tell you.
Okay, so
It's a bad Ricky Skaggs story. You don't want to know.
okay, we'll look it up
But
online.
supposedly it makes things flow together,
All right,
makes things cohesive.
I like that. I believe that's a
But
compliment.
it doesn't have a damn thing to do with why I'm called Flux.
But it does come back to something I was going to ask you. When we were lining up and talking here, I said, everyone back whoever you want, when you want. And Jerry said, I just fill holes. And there's a guy in New Orleans that goes down my street who says that, and he never finishes his job.
He'll never be done.
However, what did you mean by that? And maybe you could pick something where you can fill holes that somebody can take a lead on. You request who you want to fill a hole with.
Okay. Well, what I mean by filling holes is, I've had a long career of playing on people's records. And, of course, their name is in big letters on the front. Mine's little tiny print on the back. But that's happened quite a few times. But my job was to make things better than I found it.
Right.
And the way to do that is to accent. It's really great to have a singer and have somebody sing "Faded Love" or something like that. And you wouldn't know that, would you?
I wouldn't do very well, but I could.
And then we can kind of back them up and fill the holes.
All right.
But you want to you don't want to like go at it with a play a Mixolydian scale behind a very major song. Oh, that leaves you out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it might.
I know what one is. I'm afraid I might play one by accident.
I think you already did.
Okay. So do we have a singer? Was that a call to you, Whit? A call to action?
I'll do my best.
You look like one to me.
I've been called worse.
All right.
What key would you like to do that in?
I guess D, right?
D.
Yeah,
Key of love.
I wouldn't be able to hit it anyway, so
Go.
keep it in D, right?
Yeah.
to me. It's you that I am thinking of as I read the lines that to me were so sweet. I remember our faded love. I miss you, darling, more and more every day, as heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartache, I still think of you and remember our faded love. stars above. With every heartbeat I still think of you and remember our faded love. And remember our faded love.
So, it's like a big sing-along. I like that. Y'all sounded good. Almost as good as these gentlemen. So,
We were filling holes, though, you know?
yeah, really.
You hear something and you don't hear the other part, you just jump in.
Hey, fill the holes. I
Fill
like
the
that.
hole.
Well, you know.
Shoot the gap.
I was mind the gap. I was thinking, you know, Bill, you gave us Diesel Billy. Maybe you could give us some straight ahead rock and roll or rockabilly, and see what the guys can do with that, and you know, give everybody a shot.
Sure.
Be a little
Absolutely.
quiet when you need to.
I'm thinking of a song, and I'm thinking if it's, you're going to say rock and roll, the first thing I'm going to think is Chuck Berry. I like this song because he was a great poet too, I think, and this song is weird. It's only got 3 verses, and it's a storyline. I never really listened to the story originally when I heard it, but there's a bunch of guys working on the railroad, and the next thing you know, they've built a tent on the track and they're gambling. And then the next thing you know, there's a train coming, and they're trying to get the money up and get the tent torn down, and that's the song. Which
Yeah.
I never thought to write about that subject myself. being-
No.
Anyway, it's called Let It Rock, I think. Oh, Vampin' A.
Well, in the heat of the day, down in Mobile, Alabama, working out a railroad with a steel driving hammer. I got to get some money, get some brand new shoes, try to get a buddy, take away these blues. She don't love me, singing in the sun, payday coming when my work is on. The sun is sinking low. All I've been waiting for the whistle to blow. Sitting in a teepee builder right in the track, rolling them bones till the foreman come back. Pick up your belongings, boys scattered about. We got an off-schedule train coming 2 miles out. Get the workers out the way of the train. Engineer blow the whistle loud and long. Can't stop a train, gotta let it roll on, 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 roll on. Roll on, roll on. Now the engineer blow the whistle loud and long. Can't stop a train, gotta let it roll on. You got to let it roll on. Can't stop a train.
Whoa! Bill Kirchen.
Thanks, everybody. You're so lovely.
You know,
Slack-jawed, ham-fisted rock and roll. Yes.
That's it. It had everything. It had money, danger, gambling, and Chuck Berry's licks. And Bill will be back after this session doing a duck walking workshop.
I can go sitting down better.
Yeah, man. We could all do that. We gotta, since it's a cool place like this, it'll be duck walking and yoga together, actually, is how it's gonna be done.
Combination of line dancing and duck walking, I think, might be the next big thing.
Yeah, and by next year's festival, we'll have twice as many people here in Salisbury all doing it, explaining it to their neighbors. All right. We obviously have serious guitar maestros here. The clock on the clubhouse wall says that we got about 5 minutes left, and I want to turn it over to the universal solvent, the blues. And Eddie, I'm going to put it on you. I will admit I think rural electrification is tough on people who don't have an electrified instrument. But I'm hearing you loud and clear over here. Steve, thank you so much. Whit, thank you so much. Somehow the Dobro doesn't need electrification. It's wired to his heart pulse.
Nothing.
Because it's got a car part on it, is why it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's half Detroit and half.
It's a Hudson.
It's a terraplane, man.
The terraplane man. So while we're chewing the fat and being silly, Eddie, what do you think we should go out on that you could lead this band of, let's call them holy men for now, like filling holes, remember, holy men? That's right. And give them something they can go with that you can lead on.
Are y'all ready? I want my Dobro man. We about to get out of here. Little Hollywood smoke, static lightning, shining just like pure gold. Don't you hear me cry? Oh, yeah, oh, ooh, ow, get with it. Stay last night. Don't you hear me cry? Oh, yeah, oh, 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 get it, Daddy. know it's so good to still be alive? I said, how many know it's so good to still be alive?
Yeah.
Now we're about to get out of here. And if you're alive, anything dead ought to be buried. But if you're still alive, on the count of 4, I want y'all to release those seats. Are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Get it. Dobro, man, I want you to take us out. Thank you.
Eddie Cotton, Bill Kirchen, Jerry Douglas, Steve Lewis, Whit Smith, and you, guitar masters, here at the National Folk Festival